as who I really hope ends up at the Catalans. See how we can go in Super League. But yeah, and lost Akers too, who has developed this year. I can see why there's bitterness there. I completely get why there's bitterness there. I just think they need to step back and realise that basically if he was at London still, he would be, other than 8 weeks, let's say, of the year in London.
Yeah.
Whereas now, he will be, other than 16 weeks of the year, in Manchester.
Yeah, which is where he wants to be.
Kind of. I think it's getting a bit petty saying these things because of that, but I do get why people.
The
get
immediate appearance of it though is released from London to go home, signs for Toronto. But when you dig a little deeper, you see the logistics of it hold a little more water than that, don't they? Okay.
I don't know if he's got like kids or what the crack is there. No, family situation, but but in theory, if he did, then many of Toronto's games will be in the school holidays, and it might be a good chance for the family to go and see somewhere different, somewhere further afield, somewhere new as well. So that's a good, enriching family experience too.
Fantastic! Look at you. You're very pro. You're very, very pro Andy Akers.
I just think the bitterness is a bit far.
It's a bit.
But I'm sure Paul Campbell will want to knock him out. Bless him.
Well, he knows where to find him.
Yeah,
now, doesn't he?
Yeah, 16 weeks of the year.
Mostly Manchester. Right. Jamie Acton has become the first Leeds Centurions player to commit to the club following the relegation. Do you know what? That is a sentence, right, that could have a lot of endings to it. Jamie Acton has become the first Leeds Centurions player to commit. You could end that in a lot of ways, couldn't you? To the club following relegation.
Because the first Leeds player part.
Oh, there must be something out there that he's done that he could dig up. Okay, fair point. Has become yet another Leeds Centurion player. I'll start again soon. Yeah. Jamie Acton has become the first Leeds Centurions player to commit to the club following relegation and signed a new 4-year deal with them. Don't want to dwell too much on him, to be honest with you.
Well, I do a little bit.
Do you?
Because I genuinely think inside that body there's a Super League, Rugby League player. Inside that mind there is not.
There's a psychopath. That's the problem.
Yeah. And obviously he probably feels like he owes Lee a bit as well after they've, basically talked out their arses to defend him.
Yeah. And did he cost him a play? Can you make a case for Jamie Acton's contributions or lack, or the removal of Jamie Acton's contributions in the middle eight contributing to their ultimate demise?
Of anyone who played sort of regularly, so I'm talking...
Because he was phenomenal for him when he played well.
Anyone who played regularly, so I'm talking more than 5 regular season games, so the first 23 rounds, he had the best win success of any league player. They won a third of the games that he played. He had the highest metres per game of anyone other than Sammy Sony Lange, who came in late, and the young winger Thompson, who just played 1 game and got a few metres. So, on that basis, and on that basis, that's why I think they miss him.
Yeah.
And why he's a Super League quality, ability-wise. But he owes him.
Massively.
And he's giving it back. Yeah.
There you go. Featherstone Rovers have completed the signing of winger Sean Robinson. Robinson links up with John Duffy for a second time, having originally played under the Rovers head coach at Swinton Lions. Good luck to Sean Robinson then.
Good player, a lot of fight, a lot of will, and a bit of skill as well, a bit of pace. Good player.
Batley Bulldogs have re-signed former favourite Johnny Campbell for the 2018 season. He will return to the Foxes Biscuits Stadium next year. Following a 2-year hiatus, joining him at the club will be Michael Ward, the prop forward who has signed from Oldham, along with Bradford suffered relegation from the Championship this year. Yeah, Johnny Campbell, good player.
Did he play much? How did he get
Not a tremendous amount. He was injured for almost the entirety of his first season there.
Yeah.
But when he played, he looked good in that team. He's a good quality player, very hard worker, good under the eyeball. What you want in a fullback. And
I think he's definitely... It was a player that they didn't want to lose, didn't it?
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
It just didn't pan out in a lot of senses for him at Bradford.
Yeah.
So, there you go. That's true for a lot of people. Okay. Rochdale Hornets have completed the signing of experienced back rower Dave Allen. The former Wigan, Widnes, Whitehaven and Ireland international becomes the first new addition to Alan Kilshaw's 2018 squad, joining the 9 retained players.
Well, he's an experienced player and...
a hell of a comedian.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Hemel Stags coach Troy Perkins has announced that he is stepping down after 12 seasons with the club. Perkins joined the Stags in 2006 as a player coach and immediately took the club to the NL3 Grand Final appearance against Bramley. In the following seasons in NL3/RLCN, Rugby League Championship North?
Conference
North, thank you. Hemel consistently made...
National,
thank you. Hemel consistently made the playoffs. How would they be in the North? It's like they train at Dewsbury. Hemel consistently made the playoffs and in 2012 won the RLCN Grand Final, defeating Underbank Rangers before joining League One in 2013.
Well, that was one of the reasons he's left, because the travel from Coventry became untenable.
Yes, there you go.
But obviously not to Hemel.
No. Okay, Newcastle Thunder have handed Jason Payne.
But honestly, he's done a good long-term job there.
Of course he has, yeah.
A big champion of rugby league down south. I'm sure he'll find another gig in the sport down there in one of the semi-pro outfits.
You would expect so, wouldn't you? Newcastle Thunder have handed Jason Payne a 2-year contract to remain as the club's head coach. Payne took charge of the club on an interim basis following the sacking of Mick Mantelli earlier this season and guided them into the playoffs despite taking over the club in fear of missing out on the top 8 place. He will now be in control of the club moving forward as they look to build on their 5th place finish this term.
Yeah, he did a good job and had some big wins in the sort of running that edged him over. Doncaster, weren't it? They edged over, so it makes sense.
It does. Super League stars Oliver Gildar and Mark Minicello are among the big names included in Italy's train-on squad for the 2017 World Cup. The squad, which will be reduced to 24 players before the 13th of October, is drawn from players in Australia, England and France, as well as the domestic Italian competition. The big names from the NRL include West's James Tedesco, while Aidan Guerra is also included. They will pledge their allegiance to Italy if they are not chosen by hosts Australia. Former Hull KR players Terry Campese and Josh Mantellato are also included, while Matthew John's son Jack is also another call-up. Of the 19 Italy-based players, the one most likely to be in the final squad for the World Cup is dual-code international Mirko Bergamasco, who played 89 rugby union tests, including 3 Rugby World Cups. Bergamasco, who has represented the Azzurri in 4 league tests, has also played rugby union in France for Stade Francais and Racing Metro. So that Italian train-on squad in full then, Mark. Brace yourself. Aidan Guerra of the Sydney Roosters, Alberto Mariani of the Brianza Tigers, Alec Cecchino of the Mounties, Alex Mamone of Halifax, Al Vizerigo of the Leone Venetians, Brendan Santi of the Sydney Roosters / Wyong Roos, Chris Centroni, also of the Wyong Roos, Colin Wilkie of the Northern Pride, Christoph Caligari of Palau 13 Broncos, Daniel Alvaro of the Parramatta Eels, Fabio Borina of Spartans Catania, Dean Parata of the Blacktown Workers, Eduardo Pezzano of Spartans Catania / the Tully Tigers, Emanuele Passera of the 13 of the Ducato. There you go. Fabrizio Chiaro of the 13 of the Ducato also. Gavin Hiscox of the Central Queensland Capras. Joey Celerino of the Saluzzo NWR / Tully Tigers. It's familiar to you as they are to me, Mark, these teams. Giorgio Draghi of the Brianza Tigers. Giuseppe Pagani of the Lions Brescia. Ishmael Bayawi of the Lions Brescia, Jack Campagnolo of the Northern Pride, Jack Johns of the Newcastle Knights, Jimmy Tedesco of West Tigers, Jaden Walker of the Cronulla Sharks, Gianni Georgis of the Saluzzo NWR, Joe Tramontana of the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, Joel Reithmuller, fuck me. How many people are in this fucking squad?
I love where this felt like you had a page turn and you thought you were near the end.
I was so close. Josh Alawai of the West Tigers, Josh Mantellato of the Wyong Roos, Justin Castellero of the Northern Pride, Kieran Quabber of the Townsville District Blackhawks, Lorenzo Leandro of the Lions Brescia, Lucas Bruzzone of Saluzzo NWR, Luis Lolo of the Brianza Tigers, Luke Polesi of the Manly Sea Eagles, Martin Minicello of Hull FC, Nathan Brown of the Parramatta. Mason, I'm getting lost now. Mason Ceruto.
Take over?
No, of the Penrith Panthers / St Mary's, Matt Parata of the South Logan Magpies, Mirko Bergamasco from Leone Venetti, Nathan Brown of the Parramatta Eels, Nathan Maloney of West Tigers, Oliver Gildar of Wigan Warriors, Davide Spinato of the 13 Lovers Palermo, Patrick Zilotti of the Brianza Tigers, Richard Lepori of the Oldham
I want a 13 Lovers Palermo jersey.
So do I, of the Oldham Ruffians, Paul Vaughan of the St George Illawarra Dragons, Ryan Getty of the Northern Pride, Ryan King from Cronulla, Ryan Tremonte from the Windsor Wolves, Igor Gianmario of Spartans Catania, Sharon Wakeman of the Huddersfield Giants, Simone Boscolo of the Leone Veneto and Tully Tigers, Terry Campisi of the Queanbeyan Blues, and Tommaso Nicoli also of Leone Venetians.
Okay.
A lot of bones to pick out that one, Mark.
Well, significantly, I think they've done quite a good bit of business here in terms of putting their like national products into a train-on squad with heritage players. If they actually are joining up together, that's a great move because it's, you know, you've got some really good players there to learn some stuff off. I mean, Campese, Minicello, on their own,
Tedesco, if he plays,
on their own have got, well, spoiler alert, but we're going to do the Australian squad in a minute, and I don't see James Tedesco or
Aidan Guerra in there.
Yeah, which are two huge Origin players that could be in the Italy squad. Now, obviously they're going to have a lot of heritage players in there. I think that's probably going to be a good thing, but they're bringing in the local products too to get them experience around these players. I think that's a good way forward. I hope it is how that seems, and it's not just they've got a group of Italians training, and then another group of professionals who are going to only meet them if they get in the final 23. I hope that's not how it's going to work. Get these lads over there around the squad, training with the squad even when they're not, it's like opposition in training days or whatever.
That's it, yeah. It's a real chance for these lads, isn't it? So we'll move on to the Australia squad because that was announced this week as well. The backs: Billy Slater, Darius Boyd, Will Chambers, Dean Gagai, Tom Trebojevic, Josh Dugan, Val Holmes, Cooper Cronk, Cameron Munster, Michael Morgan and James Maloney. The forwards: Aaron Woods, David Clemmer, Josh Maguire, Andrew Fafita, Jake Trebojevic, Jordan McLean, Boyd Cordner, Matt Gillett, Tyson Frizzell, who's Welsh, Wade Graham, Felicia Kafusi, Cameron Smith and Ben Hunt.
Yeah, obviously a big Melbourne
influence there,
and I think that
surprising.
Billy Slater's late season run has got him ahead of like people like Tedesco, for example. Munster had a go in Origin, didn't he, this year? So the next step up is the Kangaroos, and people like McLean and Kafusi are going to get their first tastes as well. Ben Hunt being listed as a forward was an interesting one, but I guess he has played most of his year as the hooker, hasn't he? Since so interesting squad, lots of big names, people missing from injury, undoubtedly, but
that's still a very strong side, isn't it?
Very, very strong side, yeah. But the big loser of this squad is Bernard. Because when he celebrated not having to see James Maloney play anymore, he forgot that James Maloney is likely to be the starting six in the
that's true,
in the World Cup squad.
Keep your eyes peeled for some high shots. Right, France head coach Aurélien Cologny has named his 24-man squad for the upcoming Rugby League World Cup as well. St Helens halfback Theo Thage will captain the side, which will feature 13 Super League players. So the French World Cup squad is Bastien Adair of Toulouse Olympique, Olivier Arnaud of Avignon, Lucas Albert from the Catalan Dragons, Jason Battieri, also of the Catalan Dragons, William Barteau from Toulouse Olympique, Guillaume Bonnet of Avignon, Julien Bousquet from the Catalan Dragons, Clement Boyer from Toulouse, Damien Carras of Lesignan, Nabil Jalou of the Catalan Dragons, Theo Thage from St Helens, John Redemser of the London Broncos, Ben Garcia from Catalan Dragons, Maxime Hérault from the Limousin 13, Ben Julien from Warrington Wolves, Thibaut Marjolais of the Catalan Dragons, Anthony Maria from Toulouse, Hakim Miloudi of Doncaster / Hull FC, Marc Kirala of the Toulouse Olympique, Romain Navarrete of the Wigan Warriors, Eloy Pellissier of the Lee Centurions, Mikhail Rouche of the Limousin 13, Gadwin Spronger of the Castleford Tigers, and Fouad Yaha from Catalan Dragons.
When were Bartow and Maria confirmed as Toulouse players?
Just about now, mate. You heard it here first.
There you go. I've not seen any.
I read that on the website on BBC Sport as well when this was announced, and it said that they were from those teams, so they must have joined up. There you go. Well, so you're not going to get your Bartow
questions, yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Well, Toulouse will be really strong. Yeah, and Corella is the only real kind of residency player there that's jumping out to me, because obviously we talk about Battieri being an Australian, but he was born in France. So yeah.
That's it.
Cardass didn't know he was still knocking around.
Floating around in the lower reaches,
wasn't he? Still got any pace? Because that's the one thing that squad is lacking for me, is pace.
Massively lacking pace, isn't it? But we'll see. Old Trafford will continue to host the Super League Grand Final mark until 2020 after a new 3-year deal was agreed. Manchester United's 70,643 capacity stadium has staged the event ever since 1998 and was the Premiership final venue between 1987 and 1997.
Completely makes sense.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Phenomenal place to watch
that
game
was
rugby league.
something sealed for a few years. Would have thought maybe